Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for coming to this very special day for Hayley and Darren. We are certain there are at least a few of you that came for reasons other than the free drinks.
Before we continue, we'd like to point out to those of you who may be feeling the effects of the alcohol already, there are two best men standing up here.
And you're not seeing double.
Now, we are both not very big talkers.
Inebriation at least.
So we'd like to raise a toast in anticipation of increase in diction.
If I could please bring your attention to the bridesmaids, who have done a great job today and look fantastic this evening. Only to be outshined by the absolutely stunning bride, Hayley. You look like an absolute angel. Darren is one lucky devil.
Apparently the most important thing we had to do was to make sure Darren got here on time, looking presentable, clean cut and sober. Given what we had to work with, he scrubbed up pretty well and
he was on time.
he was on time, so that was a good thing. So it's amazing what a flannel, a bar of soap and some elbow grease can do. So that's your scrub up for all.
We've been told it's customary for the best man to unsettle the groom by revealing a number of tales embarrassing in nature. But we consulted a lawyer before commencing this speech, as we're as much a part of these endeavours as Darren. Unfortunately, 99% of our material would lead to incarceration, very heavy fines, and potentially deportation.
We are very fortunate that Darren is perfectly capable of embarrassing himself all on his own. What we can tell you is that Hayley has done an extremely good job at whipping him into shape. She has him playing house, doing the dishes, pruning the garden, baking sweets.
Everything they see on his now favourite show, Desperate Housewives.
But in all seriousness, we'd like to congratulate Darren on being a very lucky groom. Hayley is a beautiful, smart, funny, warm, loving and caring woman who deserves a good husband.
What are you up to?
We both met Darren early on in high school. We had a bit of a rocky start, but we soon got over our differences and became the three stooges that you love today.
Probably. Oh, it's me now. This is well rehearsed, by the way. Darren was one of the shyest kids that we knew. He didn't talk much, and whenever he got told off by the teachers, his face would turn as red as a tomato. He kind of stayed under the radar for most part of school. Some of the more popular girls at school who couldn't quite remember his name would refer to him as the guy with the really luscious eyelashes.
When we finally got our licences and in turn a sense of freedom, we were very excited. All three of us had a keen interest in cars. Three of us drove early Nissans/Datsuns. We would cruise around exploring and causing mischief every chance we got. Darren never gave up the passion for cars. Since then he's maintained his father's 1928 Model A Ford, XA Falcon Coupe, and is currently working on rebuilding a 1942 Harley from the ground up. By doing this he has paid homage to some great vehicles with a lot of history.
Darren, you're an extremely honest, loyal, talented, supportive, kind, dependable, funny and respectable young man.
You're also lucky that Quayle never batted for the other team because he would have snatched him up a long time ago. Seriously though, your dad would have been proud, mate, just as we were like. Our last duty today is the toast, so may you all upstand. Darren, Hayley, here's to the two things that without a doubt make a great marriage. Here's to a good sense of humour.
And selective hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please raise your glass, I give you Mr. and Mrs. Martin.
Two of the most beautiful and loving people we've had ever had the pleasure of having in our lives. If everybody... Oh, we already did that, huh?
Raise it again. So here's cheers to their future. May it be one full of love, wealth, fruitfulness and happiness.
Lots of babies.
And lots of babies. To love, to laughter, and to a happy ever after.